Hello, my delicious little chickpeas. This is a very special video that I'm recording today because it's to go with an article that I've written for Anna Kennedy Online Autism Charity website, and it's my second of several weeks of therapies I'm going to be talking about, writing about, doing little videos for her website. So if you want to have a look afterwards at the hard science behind what I'm going to share with you today, just click on Anna Kennedy Online and it will all be there. If you can bear any more of me than just what I already am like, you'll all need medals. And on that note, the closing date for her Sugar Rush cake bake, which is where she's invited people to send in pictures of cakes, brownies or cookies that they've made of what represents autism for them and their families. So if you want to take part in that, just take your photograph, send it to Anna Kennedy Online, and the closing date for that is the 30th of June. She's put it all out on Twitter and LinkedIn and everywhere as well. So it's called the Sugar Rush. Perfect. I feel like I've just had one. The other thing is I'm wearing this very, very beautiful t-shirt. Look at this. I'm modelling it. It's for Born Anxious, and Anna Kennedy is a patron of that. And it's a soft organic clothing company. And these t-shirts are for people who have autism or other different abilities or special needs, or for people who live with or support or work with people with special needs. So I'm very, very, very proud to be wearing this. I don't think they had a bright yellow one, because as you know, that's my favourite colour. But I was in the mood for this bright pink one. So I'm very, very, very proud to be wearing this today. It's a wonderful idea. And I love the rainbow, of course, because of my rainbow kids. But you can order all of those online at bornanxious.co.uk. And because I've always said this YouTube channel, all the work I do is about all of you people, families, kids out there. You know, it's not some horrendous Juliana show. God, can you imagine? So if any of you out there have anything you would like me to promote for mental health, for children's charities, for special needs, autism, ADHD, write to me, email me. It's info@therapiesforspecialneeds.co.uk. So just write to me, and I'm very happy to promote anything for anybody's charity and just raise awareness, really, because we're all in this together. So anyway, I've finished reading off a bit of paper now because I had to remember all of that before I begin. So this week I wrote about mindfulness for Anna, and actually it's quite a vast topic because it's very based on meditation, but it's the part of meditation that brings you right to the now. And when I say this is just part of it, it's because it can involve sound, it can even involve jumping jacks and exercise and all of these lovely things, but it's also the breath. So there's a lot to mindfulness. So rather than bombard you, I'm just going to do a few things today, and you can lie down, you can stand up, you might be in a wheelchair. So I'm sitting down because just to show you that it really, really is inclusive of everybody, because what we're really going to do is deep listening, focusing on the breath. I'm just going to give you a few ideas of what you could do. And if you can get outside and do it, even better, because fresh air, serotonin, you know, my favourite one, you'll get all that as well while you're doing it. So I'm going to begin today, and lying down is a good one for this, but if you're in a wheelchair or something, you may not be able to, or you could be lifted out of your wheelchair, which is what I do when I go into special schools. I love the kids to be out on lovely fluffy bean bags and things like that, so that they can move their bodies and really feel. I'm going to do it sitting up because you might be 80 and in an armchair, and you can still join in. Everything I do is inclusive, which is just fab. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to close my eyes. And this is what you do. It's called a body scan, being aware of your body. And sometimes some of you might, if you just breathe in deeply, focus on your feet, and then just travel slowly up your body. And for me, I always see it as a light travelling up, and then I can feel where there are pockets of tension. But for others of you, it might just be a feeling. But just move from your feet, up your ankles, to your knees, to your hips, your tailbone, tummies. just move up through your bodies, right down to the ends of your fingers and the top of your head, up through your neck. Oh, I've got a tight bit there today, top of my neck, bottom of my... So wherever you feel tightness, take in some nice deep breaths and just blow to that area in your mind. You could even put your hand there. If some of you have got tight tummies, you could breathe to your tummies. You might breathe a colour to your tummies or wherever you've got that area of tension. Or you could breathe a sound. Sound is very powerful because that gets into the... I'm talking with my hands with my eyes shut, honestly. Because if you do that, if you use sound, it gets into the water of your bodies, which is amazing. That's going to be on another video. And because children are made up of 75% water and adults are made between 55 and 68% of water. So when you put sound inside your bodies, you're actually, it's like rebooting a phone. You're getting into all those cells, wiping, cleaning them, boosting them. So it's really amazing, the power of sound. I'm going to do a little bit of that in a little while as well. Anyway, so you could actually breathe sound, just hum. You could just go... Try different pitches, you could go lower. Obviously it wouldn't be a good idea to do that on public transport. That bit you might need to keep for yourselves at home or in a group. But breathe colour, breathe light, just use the breath, you could use sound, but whatever's comfortable for you, as I always say, make it your own, and whatever feels natural to you, breathe that to the area where you have tension. And you will be amazed at how that will lift, because so many of us are so busy on this roller coaster rat wheel, and I don't want to go back to that after COVID. I really, really don't. I don't know about you, but I really don't. And I think one thing this has taught us is to be very aware of what's going on in our own bodies and to be fully present in them. Because when we're mindful, oh my God, I forgot to tell you this bit. This is amazing. When you do mindful, this is proven, neurologically, hard science proven, which I love. And what happens is when people do mindful exercises regularly, do you know something? This is so exciting. They proved it through, they did MRI scans on the brain. In 2011, loads of studies were carried out, and what they proved was certain areas of the brain shrink when you do regular mindfulness and other areas grow. So let me tell you about that. The areas that grow are the hippocampus, which is memory and learning. So that actually thickens, that's proven. The cerebral cortex thickens, and the frontal lobe, which is like the conductor, the cockpit of a plane, the conductor of the brain, all the higher brain functions, you know, forward thinking, planning, attention, focus, decision making, looking into the future, seeing, you know, all of that. That's all in our frontal lobe. And the grey matter there has actually been proven through neurological testing to actually grow. Can you believe it? How amazing! I just find that amazing. So you can actually grow your grey matter. I always thought you couldn't grow your brain, but there we are. This is what I found out in all my training. The other thing that actually shrinks is the amygdala, which is actually the emotional brain. So if you imagine, this is a bit disgusting, but if you imagine poking a big long knitting needle through your eye and one through your ear on each side of your head, but the point where those knitting needles would meet would be the amygdala. It's always said in the singular. It's the amygdala there, and that's the emotional brain, and that's where we store all our responses to external stimuli, particularly fear, and it stores our reactions to stress. And most of those emotional and behavioural reactions are laid down before the age of 7. So when somebody has a giant meltdown or something has triggered them, and you've probably heard it or said it yourselves even, I know I have, and I feel awful now, and you say, stop acting like a child, for that person, that's where they've gone back. That's where they laid down that pattern, deep in the emotional brain, the amygdala. So what happens with regular mindfulness is that that area of the brain actually shrinks. It physically shrinks. Oh my God, we're just so amazing. I cannot believe that I couldn't stand science when I was younger, because I absolutely love it now. It all makes sense, you see, since I've done all this training, and you know, it's just a miracle to me. Our bodies are perfect, delicious little jigsaws. Anyway, I'm going to show you another mindfulness thing now before I get too carried away and you all lose the will to live. Bring you back into the present. We're going to do a little bit of flower breathing, and this is so simple. A child of 2 could do this. An 18 months old could do this. I've done it with them, with my little Rainbow Tots groups. And what you do is imagine your favourite flower, or it might be a flower from your imagination. Because I love yellow, mine is a big, massive sunflower. And imagine that you're going to breathe in through your nose. It's really important, because when you breathe through your nose, it concentrates the oxygen flowing up to the brain. Oh my God, I love how we work. So you just breathe in and imagine a big flower in front of you. And breathe in the freshness. Blow out through your mouth. And really imagine this flower as you do it. What it looks like right in the middle. The softness and colour of its petals. And just fill your bodies with it. And it's as simple as that. Anybody can do it. The other thing that's really, really lovely with mindfulness is sound, as I said before, with the breathing. And it's called a deep listening. And when I run my Rainbow Kids groups, or when kids come to see me on a one-to-one, very often this is a really nice way to massively boost those 37.2 trillion cells of the body. Get us all focused, and that just being massively, massively aware in the present. And to do this, I get the kids to sit round, or if it's just a one-to-one, and I might use a Tibetan singing bowl, for instance, which is really beautiful because that instantly brings you down to theta level. So you drop from beta level, which is what we're normally at, down to alpha level, and then down to theta level. And this is a very powerful sound. And you can buy these online. They can be a little bit pricey, but well worth it. And you can actually feel the vibration travel through your arm while you do it. All my Rainbow Kids can do this. And what you do is, for somebody, is you make a sound, and then when you stop, they could just put their hands in the air, or they could put their hand up, although I'm not so keen on that because it's a little bit like school. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not really how I work. I work with the school, but I want the kids to feel they're not in school when they're with me, because there's so much to explore outside of school that can boost school. So I kind of keep that out a little bit. But what they could do is a yoga pose, or they could do figure eights with their arms above their heads. You know, there's all sorts of, you could do it with them. What would you like to do when I stop the sound? So they own the game. They make it theirs. And kids like to feel empowered when you do that. You never just give an activity for them to do. You know, they have to own it. So you could either use a rain stick, and I love this too. You could make your own. You could actually make your own. I've got one which is all embossed, because I like, when I go and work with blind children, I like them to feel it. I think that's so important, to have the touch, and they can feel where that sound is coming from. Or you could use an ocean drum. And then when you stop, the person can, you know, do 3 deep mindful breaths. So make it your own. If you're on a budget, which a lot of us are at the moment, because not everybody has had the government grants and things like that, or for whatever reason you may not have the money, you could even put, I'm not being funny, some rice in a box and shake that, or some lentils in a box. You could get the inner carton of a foil, aluminium foil roll, and just cap the ends, and you could put a few beads in there. You could get a bowl of marbles or beads. You know, you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money, and you can still achieve the same thing by sharing with a child that deep listening, and get them to do it for you. you know, say to the child, would you like to do that for me now? And then they can do the singing bowl or the ocean drum. And then when they stop, you can take 3 mindful breaths. So you can really share this activity. I'm going to share another one with you. It's called, I learnt it as the owl squeeze. And these will all be on Anna Kennedy's website because I've sent them all across. And I'll put them on my public Facebook group, Online Therapy, Rainbow Therapies for Families and Kids. It'll be on there as well if you want the exercises. So you squeeze the shoulder, really squeeze it to the pressure you like because you're in control of it. And you look over that shoulder and then you turn back round, push your shoulders back. And as you push your shoulders back, breathe down to your tummies and out. And then do the other shoulder. And it helps all the neck, it helps all the dopamine get up the neck, the blood and oxygen firing to the brain. And you turn round and put your shoulders back, open up that diaphragm, and breathe deeply into your tummies again. And when you're mindful and you breathe to your tummies, the amazing thing is, another amazing thing, I could explode. The other amazing thing is, it actually, mindfulness, regular mindfulness, helps with gastrointestinal difficulties and illnesses. So when you breathe to the gut, which stores 90% of the happy hormones of the body, neurotransmitters, you're actually releasing those and pushing those up. And the gut is another place where we store fear, anxiety, anger, meltdowns, all the things we can't process or digest. So when you breathe to your tummies mindfully in that way, you're actually getting all of that on the move in a way that you're in control of, or your families or your children or whoever you're working with. The final thing I'm going to show you about mindfulness, I'm really bombarding you today, I do apologise, but it will all be on my public group, all the little exercises, or Anna Kennedy online. Right, I've written it out here. So this is grounding, a grounding exercise with all 5 of your senses. So it's really, we've done a little bit on listening, we've done a little bit on feeling, but this is a little exercise, and actually, if you can get out in nature and do it, even better. You can never get enough of outside, and now is the perfect time. Even in the pouring rain, it's a perfect time. Even that can be delicious, I promise you. So I've got here 5 things I can see. I can see my son recording me and trying not to laugh. I can see an ocean drum. I can see a lovely wall hanging on the wall. I can see this lovely Born Anxious t-shirt. And I can see some glass bottles, which I have on my drawers in the corner. Very special things. This is my favourite. 4 things I can feel. Right, I can feel my rain stick. I can feel the cool metal of my Tibetan bowl. I can feel the softness of my beautiful t-shirt, Born Anxious t-shirt. I can feel the beautiful woolen blanket that I'm sitting on. And I can feel my skin. Very important. And don't forget, people with severe autism, very often they don't know where their skin ends and outside begins. So that might be a really nice one, is to see if they can feel their skin. And it's a really lovely grounding one in itself, that one. Did I say 5 things? I'm always a bit greedy, aren't I? I can never stick to the rules. You must know that by now with me. Right, 3 things I can hear. Birds, my breathing, and my son trying not to laugh while he films me. 2 things I can smell. I have to hold it right out there to see. I can smell the fresh air coming in through the window. And I can smell the essential oils that I scatter everywhere. I go around like a big marination of smell. My friends can always tell which shops I've been in. Long after I've been in them, I think I stink. That's not a good thing to say on YouTube, is it? Or for Anna. Sorry, Anna, I don't stink. It's the essential oils, I promise. 1 thing I can taste. The latte I've just had before coming on here, which was giving me a bit of a sugar rush, which brings me back to Anna. Get your cakes in by the 30th of June. Photographs of your cakes or brownies to Anna Kennedy online by the 30th of June. of what autism represents to you. I've talked ever such a lot in this one. It's been lovely. I feel like you've all been in here, sat around, and we've had a good old chat. So you have a wonderful day, and I will see you very, very soon. Have a mindful, beautiful Tuesday.